Ah, you're back. Welcome to Cafe Le Drop, where we serve the finest coffee and artwork. I'll admit it's been a while since I made my last video, but after a recent change of heart, I'm back to creating stuff again. Speaking of which, I recently accepted the request of taking 3 characters from my favorite video game of all time, Persona 5, and turning them into Pokemon. So on that note, let's bust out the nav app and showtime! Alright, let's start things off with Ryuji. Now Ryuji, as loyal as he is, he's also very aggressive, high-tempered, and I definitely got rebel vibes from him. So as I was drawing this, I had gotten inspiration from 2 different characters. The first being the Pokemon Toxtricity, since he also has electric moves and sort of has that rebel too that I wanted to incorporate into Ryuji. My other inspiration was actually Rough Raft from Yokai Watch, so I definitely wanted to recreate that pose of his. What's funny is even Ryuji does that same pose in the victory screen. I thought giving him Toxtricity's hair was perfect because they both have yellow spiky hair. I definitely want to keep that skull mask, and I also decided to make Ryuji a monkey because I remember in Kamoshida's palace he was referred to as an ape, so a rebellious monkey just sounded perfect to me. And there we have it, folks, our first fan of the Pokemon, which I imagine would be an electric fighting type with a static ability. Next up we have Haru. Now with her, she comes off to me as shy and timid, but also very gentle until it comes to fighting shadows. Then she really shows off her fighting skills. So for her, I thought maybe she'd be like a psychic grass type Pokemon, which also kind of works for her character since you see her tend to her garden a lot in the game. I will admit, huge inspiration for me were both Lilligant and Stin, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, because of their shapes and the bottom part kind of remind me of Haru's poofy shorts, so I wanted to incorporate that into the design as well as her hat. For the hat, I made it look like a big leaf with a bud on top of it, and a single rose petal to mimic the feather she has in her cap. I was originally going to give her an axe, like maybe it was made of wood with some branches, but then I thought maybe it'd be better if I incorporated the axe into her arm, like how Scyther has those blade arms. I feel it was appropriate because even though she's gentle, she still has an edge to her, so underestimating her would be a big mistake. So I definitely want to have that feel and make sure that she still had some elegance to her character with the pose. So, there we have it, folks, our second Fan Thief transformed into a Pokemon. And please don't call her Beauty Thief because she will slice you in half. And last but not least for this final entry, let's go with Yusuke. What I like about Yusuke is he tries to portray himself as this mature and noble dude, and he's also very eccentric, but he can be very dense, especially with social cues and such. So I wanted to definitely keep that energy when designing him. I was also trying to figure out if I wanted him to be on 4 legs or maybe 2 so he could use his forearms to paint. I wanted to replicate the markings from his mask and incorporate them into his fur. One major inspiration I got when I was thinking about his design was the wolf from the game Okami that many people seem to just forget about. They both have that unique Japanese style paint look that I could see Yusuke would make. I also love the swirls on the wolf, so I thought maybe adding that to the fox in some way would be nice, like maybe recreating his pop color, but being part of his fur. And speaking about paintings, I also remember the painting of Yusuke's mother, Sayuri, and I thought, how could I add a touch of that into this character? Now, Yusuke has this sash around his waist, so I figured, what if that was like a part of the cloak from Yusuke's dead mother, which would add a bit of tragedy to his character, because it just wouldn't be Pokemon without some horrifying Pokemon entry, right? And I was going to make his tail into a brush, but we already have that with another Pokemon, so I scrapped that, but I was still satisfied with what I came up with. But here it is, guys, Yusuke, our tragic Ice-Steel type Pokemon. And that's it for today, folks. Don't worry though, I'm sure I'll return to this series to do more Fan of Thief Pokemon, or maybe I'll visit another series instead. Until then, thanks for stopping by, please like and subscribe, and please make sure you flip that sign to close as you're leaving, okay? Awesome.